Thank you. And James did a really good job at the start, I think, dampening expectations for the people through the auditions. And then, frustratingly, the other two have been brilliant. So if we can just remember that first bit when James said, oh, just be nice, get yourself back in that mindset. It would be really fantastic. Thank you. So I'd like to first ask you all, and the idea I wish to talk to transport yourselves back to 1980s Britain. A combination of government policies, government cuts, a recession, and various things created a perfect storm, which basically meant there was a relentless rise in homelessness during that period. And you had, by 1990, there were 2,000 to 3,000 people sleeping on the streets of London every night in cardboard cities, as they were called, like this. This is Waterloo Bridge here. So it was described as a stain on the national consciousness. People realised it was awful. People thought something had to be done. And this idea came into that and was one of the things that I wanted to solve that. It's more than just a fundraising idea. The idea being that homeless people could essentially not just fundraise for themselves, but then also give themselves the skills to actually then take themselves out of that situation, give themselves the stability. So the idea that I wish I'd thought of was the big issue. And the big issue is a fantastic idea. And the basic idea, as you know, is people buy the newspaper and then sell it on for a profit. And within a few months, it was selling 150,000 copies a month, supporting thousands of homeless people, help make an income for themselves, put their lives back on track again. But before you kind of all think, oh, I know this one, I'll wait for one of the proper speakers to come back on. I'd like to tell you three things that you probably don't know about the big issue. Firstly is the great debate today is, can you steal an idea or create an idea? This was a stolen idea, and it was stolen from America. And obviously working for the Labour Party, I get a lot of people telling me to just do what Obama did. So that's a good reminder to me there. It was also an idea which was was founded by the Body Shop, which a lot of people may not know here today. It was startup capital provided by them. The homeless charities of the time had previously considered this and had turned it down. Centrepoint had analysed it, decided it wouldn't be workable. And the third thing that you may not know, and that's an entirely coincidental front cover there. The third thing that you may not know is that it has higher circulation figures than the Independent, which, when you think about the print media in this country, you think that it mainly sells itself in London, where you can't move for falling over, the various, Metro, the Evening Standard, all these horrible free newspapers. Yet this stands out and is making a huge difference in people's lives. So now I've got you intrigued with three things you maybe didn't know about it. I'm going to go into why it's such a good idea. And the reason why it is such a good idea, I think you can break it down. Firstly, for the person selling the newspaper. As a vendor, it moved people at the time from begging to working. I don't think that can be overstated enough as a kind of a psychological change. But in doing that job, you manage to gain skills, whether it's communication, speaking to people, punctuality, and then you got an income at the end of that, which you could then spend. You saw the results of that, and then giving you that stability to put your life back on track. The second thing that it did for people who were selling the big issue is that I've forgotten the second thing. And other important aspect of it was in terms of the people who actually buy the big issue. So when you buy the big issue, you are buying, it's the ultimate restricted gift. You know that your money is going to the person standing there right in front of you. You also it really solves that horrible problem when someone asks you for money in the street, your heart wants to give money, your head says you're not sure what to do. This big issue is head and heart the right solution. And finally, for both of those, both the person selling the newspaper and the person buying the newspaper, there's this brilliant interaction. There's an interaction of two people that wouldn't normally interact with people, finding out about different people's lives. So, what can we learn about the big issue? What can we learn from the big issue, and what can we do this today? Well, the first thing I think we can learn about the big issue is in terms of regular giving. So the big issue sells 86,000 copies, and as I've said, more than the Independent. But the people who buy that, 90% of the people who buy the big issue buy it every week. half of those people buy it from the same vendor each week. That's incredible donor retention, and that's not anything that many charities are able to do. If you think about the way, like kind of, I know I've been working on direct debit campaigns, often the aim is kind of, let's get them to set up a direct debit and then hope they sort of forget about it. This is the absolute opposite of that, because every week that you have that interaction with that person, you remind yourself of the cause you're supporting, and you get something brilliant at the end of it too, as well. So that's the first reason. The second reason is that just because an idea doesn't work as first, doesn't mean you should cancel it. So homeless charities who did just about get on board at the time of the thing, a quote that I read from someone at Centrepoint was, everyone thought it was probably a load of crap, but it might just work and we can't be seen to not support it. So everyone got on board eventually at the time. But the idea, all the problems that they said there were, those problems happened. Vendors turned up drunk. Vendors had fights over the best spots in Leicester Square. They stole newspapers. They broke into big office. They attacked big issue sellers. Basically, every problem that they said is why this wouldn't work happened. But they were selling, within a few months, they were selling 100,000 copies, and they were moving to a weekly publication. So I think if you know you have a good idea, it doesn't work straight away, then just keep going with it. They knew they had the demand there, so they kept going with it. And then the final thing I think we should learn from it is that be totally open to new ways of doing things. You can't put something in your budget that says the Body Shop are going to come to you with a good idea, but if it happens, you want to make sure you react to it. And also, I think there's a lot of talk around integrating. You should be integrated with service delivery. You should be integrated with advocacy. The big issue is advocacy, service delivery, fundraising, all together. It's absolutely fantastic. So, for the fact that it's just 23 years young, yet is absolutely embedded in British life, the fact that it gives people stability and a chance to put their lives back on track, the fact that it has totally changed the way our society, it's been a huge factor in changing the way our society views homeless people, and it's a killer fundraising idea. That's why I wish I thought of that. Thank you.